All right, let's talk about one of the most infuriating things a dog owner can deal with. You've been there, right? You turn your back for just a second, and suddenly your dinner's gone. That's right. We're diving deep into the world of the counter-surfing dog. And trust me, by the end of this, you are going to have a rock-solid plan to take back your kitchen for good.
Okay, picture this. You've just made the most perfect sandwich. The bread is toasted, just right, everything is layered perfectly. You turn around to grab a glass of water from the fridge. Just for a second. What could happen, right?
And poof, vanished. The only evidence left is an empty plate and a dog who is looking suspiciously satisfied. Yep, we have all been there. But today, my friends, is the day we put an end to the reign of the counter-surfing bandit. And we've got a game plan. First, we're going to investigate the crime scene. Then we'll go inside the mind of the counter-surfer to see what makes them tick. I'm going to share the one golden rule that changes everything. And then we'll roll out a 5-week training plan with all the troubleshooting hacks you'll need to build a lifetime of good habits.
Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, the kitchen crime scene. Because, look, losing a sandwich is one thing, but the real risks hiding up on your counters, that's a whole other story.
So let's just be clear on what we're talking about here. Counter-surfing is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's when your dog decides your kitchen counter is their own personal all-you-can-eat buffet. They're on the hunt for food or really anything else that smells interesting.
And this, right here, is why we have to take this so seriously. It's not just annoying, it's actually dangerous. Think about it. A hot pan, toxic foods like chocolate or onions, a sharp knife just sitting there, or even them knocking over a heavy appliance. The risks are very, very real. So making your kitchen safe really means making sure it's an off-limit zone for your dog. All right, so if we're going to stop this behavior, we have to get inside the mind of the bandit. What is actually going through their head? Let's break down the anatomy of a counter-surfer.
You know, this right here is such a huge shift in perspective. Your dog isn't trying to be bad. In their world, they're not misbehaving at all. They're winning. They're just using their natural instincts to go hunting, and your kitchen counter happens to be an amazing hunting ground.
This behavior is literally hardwired into them. I mean, dogs come from scavengers, right? Their ancestors survived by finding food any way they could. And that finders-keepers instinct is still incredibly powerful. So to them, a piece of chicken left on the counter is totally fair game.
And here it is. This is the secret weapon they are using against your dinner. Look at this number, 300 million. What on earth could that be?
Well, that's how many scent receptors are in a dog's nose. We humans, we have about 6 million. Their sense of smell is thousands of times more powerful than ours. So while you might smell dinner cooking, they smell this irresistible, overwhelming cloud of deliciousness. To them, even a counter you just wiped down is like the scent ghost of every single meal you've ever made on it.
Now look, any dog can be an opportunist, but let's be real, some breeds are basically professionals. You've got your usual suspects, the superfood-motivated labs and beagles. But you can't underestimate the clever problem-solving of a husky or the shocking agility of a little dachshund who's on a mission.
So we know why they do it. Now, how do we stop it? This brings us to the single most important part of this whole explainer, the golden rule. And that is prevention over correction.
This is it. This is the absolute core of our strategy. Your kitchen counter is like a slot machine for your dog. Every single time they steal something, they hit the jackpot. And that just reinforces the behavior and makes them want to pull that lever again and again. So our job is to shut the entire casino down. We have to create a situation where it's impossible for them to ever win again.
So how do we build this no-win zone? Well, it's all about management. If you can't supervise, block access with baby gates. You got to become obsessive about keeping those counters clean. No food, no crumbs, nothing. Put away things like the toaster and wipe everything down with a cleaner that actually neutralizes those powerful smells that only they can detect.
Okay, once that no-win zone is fully established, we can switch from playing defense to playing offense. It's time to start training. So let's get into the 5-week master plan.
For the first couple of weeks, our entire focus is building a rock-solid leave-it command. You start super simple. Put a treat in your closed fist. The second they stop sniffing or trying to get it, you mark that with a big, happy yes, and then you give them a different, even better treat from your other hand. This teaches them that ignoring one good thing gets them something even better from you.
And here is the secret sauce that makes this whole thing work. You have to outbid the counter. The reward for listening to you has to be way better than the reward they get for stealing. It's simple, really. If they're trying to steal chicken off the counter, you better be rewarding them with steak for leaving it.
Now, we start to proof the behavior. So for the next couple of weeks, you'll put boring, low-value stuff on maybe a footstool and just practice walking by, rewarding your dog like crazy for ignoring it. Then you can start staging controlled tests, like putting a single carrot on the edge of the counter and throwing a huge party when they choose to ignore it and look at you instead.
Of course, training is never a perfect straight line. So let's talk about some real-world tactics for when things get a little tricky.
Okay, first and foremost, we have to get this out of the way. Shouting at your dog after you find the evidence is completely useless. It's actually counterproductive. They don't connect your anger to the act of stealing. They just connect it to you showing up. All this does is teach them to be sneakier and to do it when you're not around.
So here are a few common problems and some easy solutions. What if your dog only does it when they're alone? Well, set up a camera, see what's really happening, and then recreate that exact setup for a training session. If they're stealing non-food stuff like sponges, they probably need better chew toys and a solid drop-it command. And if they jump up even when the counters are clear, that's those ghost smells we talked about. Time to break out the white vinegar.
And finally, let's talk about the payoff. I know this sounds like a lot of work, but this isn't about a quick fix. This is about building a lifetime of good habits for you and your dog.
It's so important to have realistic expectations here. You are probably going to see huge improvements in the first month or two, but to build that really solid, dependable behavior, that can take a few months of being consistent. But the payoff is absolutely worth it. A safe kitchen, your own peace of mind, and honestly, a much stronger bond with a dog who understands the rules.
At the end of the day, remember this was never about correcting a bad dog. It was about redirecting a brilliant, natural instinct. By managing their world and proving that the best food always comes directly from you, you can absolutely win this battle for good. So I have to ask, what's a training hack that's been a total game changer for your dog? Thanks for joining me.